let's talk a little bit about what to do when a gym membership cancellation request happens. There are three main things that I'm going to point out here that'll help you reduce your attrition or your member turnover or your number of cancellations. First off, we want to have a conversation. We don't want to allow somebody to just say, yeah, I just don't want to be a member anymore. Submit something online, and then the membership is done. No. We want to encourage a conversation. Now, we're going to force a conversation. I would say no. But the majority of the time, 80-90% of the time, you should be having a conversation. So if you're not doing that, that's the easiest thing to fix. Just change your system so that there's a conversation had around this. Two, we're going to go to having a survey. And that's a lot of times how we'll actually pivot to this conversation by saying, okay, I'll go ahead and handle your cancellation request. We just need to fill out a quick membership cancellation survey for you, and I'll take care of that for you right away, right? With you, and I'll take care of that right away. Now, in our survey, we're going to be asking about a couple things because everybody, when they cancel, what do they say? So many people say, well, I'm canceling just because I need to move. Why do they say that? Is everyone actually moving who says that they're moving? No. The reality is not all of them are moving. The reality is that some of them, but probably the minority of the people who say that they're moving are actually moving. In many cases, they say that because they're afraid that they're going to be locked into a contract of a gym membership that they're not using unless they say that they're moving. So they're coming with a defensive posture. And there's no way to help re-engage someone or turn around a cancellation if they're in a defensive posture. So first off, don't resist that. When someone says, hey, I need to cancel my membership, I'm just moving. Cool, no big deal. Let me just fill out this quick survey. And then once we do that together, I will take care of your cancellation right away. So tell me, one, how long have you been a member? How long? And we say this in a way where people will answer it easily. So about how long have you been a member here? Oh, like a couple months. Oh, like a couple of years. Now, if you hear a few years, the chances of them canceling because they're moving or like they legitimately do need to cancel the membership is higher than if they say, well, I've been here for like a couple months. If they've been there for like 2, 3, 4 months, the chances of them canceling due to non-use is much higher. So just know that. Your spidey senses should go off there, but we're asking an easy question that makes it simple for someone to answer you. So how long have you been a member with us? Oh, okay, got it. And what did you come here to achieve? What were you after when you came in? What did you come here to achieve as a member? All right? They're gonna say, well, I want to do this and this and that, or I don't really remember. And you're like, okay, cool, no worries. No matter what they say, you go right on to the next question. Did you? So, you wanted to get a little bit stronger, you wanted to get a little leaner, you wanted to sleep a little bit better, you wanted to be the best version of yourself. How do you feel like you did with that? Or on a scale of 1 to 5, how well would you say that you accomplished those goals? Now, here's where things begin to get real. Most people will tell you they're not making progress on it. And that's your moment to pivot. Oh, you're not really making progress on it. Interesting. Okay, and why do you think that is? You can ask, follow-up question. Be curious. Why do you think that is? And they might go straight to it and say they haven't been using it that much, or you might need to ask a follow-up question. If they give you a bunch of fluff and you know that it's probably not real, just go ahead and cut to the chase and say, oh, okay, And how often have you been coming in to train with us? How often have you been working out? How often have you been here at the gym? Or how many classes have you been taking on a regular basis? Or even better, and how many classes did you take last week? Or how many times did you come to the gym that last week? And you'll find what we're looking for here is cancellations due to low usage, right? Those are the easiest ones to turn around. Well, I just haven't been using it that much. Boom. Okay. Now we've gotten to the core of it. And you could be real with someone. You could say, yeah, you know what? In a situation like that, there's two main types that are easy to turn around, right? We could say low use. And we could also say finances. Right? So we're going to come back to that one. Let's say it's low use. Okay, low use. Got it. And let me ask you this. If you were to train here frequently, Do you think that you'd be able to achieve X, Y, and Z? Yeah, probably. And how important are those things to you? And if you can get someone to say, if I was there more often, I would achieve it. And yes, they are important to me, then the pivot to our final step here, plan for success, is ultra simple. Okay, got it. Well, if it's really important to you to tone up, lose 15 pounds, start having more energy, and you feel like you could use it by being here more frequently, let's do this. I've got a few resources that will help you achieve that. And, the first time or two may not be that much fun, but I've actually got a couple things that'll make the journey really enjoyable for you, especially after you get to your second or your third week of training. So, before we do anything like that, tell me this. If you and I set up a reasonable plan for success that you really enjoy, would you be willing to commit to coming in a few times per week for the next 2 to 3 weeks? Like, what I mean to say to you is, would achieving X, Y, and Z be worth coming in a few times per week to you? And they will, in many cases, say yes. Now, I'm not talking about turning around 80% of the cancellation requests that you get. I'm talking about out of 10 cancellation requests that you get, you should be able to have this survey conversation with 7, 8, 9 of them. So let's just say 8 for easy figuring. So you had the conversation with 8 of them. Now, of the 8, probably 5 or 6 of them are going to say they're moving or something like that, right? And many of them aren't. But of that 8 that are canceling, if you can turn around just 2 that say they're moving, 2 out of the 6, right? Maybe that's like a third of the time. 1 out of every 3 that say they're moving. And then a couple others will say, well, I just can't afford it. So let's talk about the other ones that say, well, I just can't afford it. Let's assume we turned around 2 of 8 so far. Now, a couple of the other ones, they may have had all kinds of things, but this other big one, I can't afford it. Very similar. Okay, no worries. I'm gonna take care of your cancellation. What I will do is I'm gonna fill out a quick survey with you, and as soon as that survey is done, I'll get this processed for you, right? We're not gonna resist their thing, no worries, that's a bummer. Let me do this quick survey, and then I'll take care of your cancellation. So, number 1, about how long have you been a member with us? Okay, cool, right? Everyone's able to answer that pretty easily. This tells us early on, if they've been here for a couple months, ding, 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 ooh, this is like maybe a non-use cancellation if they've only been around a little bit. Okay, and what was it that you were interested in achieving here? And they talk about that a little bit. Okay, and did you achieve that or not? I mean, on a scale of 1 to 5, how successful would you say you were in achieving X, Y, and Z? And is it still important to you to achieve X, Y, and Z? Right? And we go down that same track of conversation. They'll say yes. And then we'll go, So besides the money, is there anything else that would keep you from continuing to work out here? And then you'll probably find the real objection, like maybe they're not coming that often or whatever else. But let's just say, no, like if the money worked, I totally would. Okay, got it. Well, we have a scholarship program, and we help people out if they're having a real financial issue. Like the last thing that I would want to see you do is give up your health and wellness over some financial thing. So what do you really have going on over there? And people will share their situation. If someone's in a legitimate financial situation, my recommendation, and what we do in our studios is we will scholarship somebody, and there are rules that each level of management is allowed to make decisions about, but essentially, we will reduce someone's membership to a very low level for up to 90 days if they're in a challenging situation, because most people are able to deal with things like that within 90 days. And you get someone's loyalty for so much longer. You help them achieve what they came there to achieve, and it's so much better for the community, for the business as well, because the lower your turnover is, the lower your turnover is likely to be. What do I mean by that? When a new member comes in, if they're in a community that has a high level of commitment, they're more likely to assimilate to that high level of commitment. If your turnover is high and there's a lot of churn, say in your staff, that leads to churn in your membership base, and churn in your membership base leads to other members churning. So it's like a self-fulfilling kind of prophecy there. But what we're looking to do is make those changes. Now, if you didn't see the last video about how to reduce cancellations in general before you get the cancellation request, then I'll go ahead and link that video here so you can go back to it and check it out. But what I would say is follow this process well. You shouldn't expect, if you follow it well, and you practice it. And it takes time to get good at this, or for your team to become good at this. But once a team is good at this, they should be able to turn around about 25 to 35% of the cancellation requests that they receive. Now, this isn't going to change everything, but if you can take your attrition from like 4, 5, 6% and bring it down to like 3 or 4%, or maybe even 3% or less, it makes a tremendous difference in the amount of new members that you have to acquire every single year in order to keep your facility running at a high level of profitability. So when your cancellations are low, the amount of effort you have to put in terms of ad spend and lead generation and follow-up and sales processes, all of that goes down exponentially when your churn rate is lower. So I hope that helps. Go ahead and check out the next video, or the last video, I should say, on the best way to reduce gym membership cancellations before they happen. And if you want help with bringing more people in through the doors, there's going to be a link below this video that'll have some additional resources. There's some free resources like there's course material, there's an online portal, there's printable resources. You can get the gym membership sales book that I wrote with my wife Laura, and you can use those strategies and tactics in your facility. Or you can click the link. There'll be a couple options, but within that link, you'll be able to schedule a call with our team if you'd like us to bring more people in through the doors for you by generating new leads, working all the follow-up for you, and getting leads from multiple different sources that'll enable you to be the best at bringing people in through the doors in your local area. And if you can take care of things like retention, that's what will enable you to dominate a local area in terms of what your facility can do, and the competition won't be an issue at that point. So if you want help bringing more people in through the doors, or if you would like some of the additional free resources, click the link below this video, and the team and I will see you there.